Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is Watch AHCI, the art and science of watch collection. Today, what I want to do is talk about a watches by a watchmaker named Aaron Becsei. And he has a company called Bexei Watches. Not too long ago, I was sent a list of the amount of time that certain watch brands where a watchmaker would actually spend working on a watch. And Aaron Becsei's watches, Bexei watches, was one of the top. I mean, the very top. And I really didn't know much about it. He's a Hungarian watchmaker, comes from a family of watchmakers, and I was looking at the movement, and I was looking at this finger bridge. It just it's a work of art. I mean, the onglage on the bridge, the polishing, everything about it is just really beautiful. And then I noticed that on one of the spokes on the this wheel underneath it, one of the gear wheels, even the the enlage on that was really remarkable. I mean, this when you look at details that closely and see that kind of work, it's really something to discover. And so I thought, well, I'll take a look at some of these watches. By the way, Aaron Becsei has been an AHCI member, and I knew that he was a member, but I really hadn't paid much attention to his watches. And so I thought, well, somebody had asked me about it the other day, and so I said, well, I'll see what I can find out, and try and tell you something. Now, there's another similar company that is anything but this. I mean, it's very the opposite. It's relatively cheap watches. I saw some on Amazon, but they're spelled the same. I don't know who they are. Either that or there's a couple letters that are switched around. But I mean, you can tell if it's a Bexei watch or not by looking at this incredible work that's done on it. Now, the one I think that I was most attracted to is called the Bexei Dignitas Pure, and it's a hand-wound watch, time only, sub-dial down at 6 o'clock. And the back is, I think we were looking at part of the back just recently. And it's pure watchmaking. The movement is hand wound, of course, 40 hours, power reserve. It's got a movement that it's a shape movement. And it's constructed and finished and fitted with a large 14 millimeter free sprung titanium balance. Now, the reason that I like a big balance is that it has greater inertia, and the greater the inertia in a larger balance, the less likely it is to be irregular. I'll put it that way. I mean, once it has its pattern, it stays in it far better than some of the smaller ones. Now, it's 3 hertz, 21,600 semi-oscillations per hour, manual wind. Now, these ran between about 40,000 and 77,000 euro. I mean, they're all handmade. It takes I think, about 4 months to make each one, so not a lot of them are made each year. But it just sort of, for me, it's like something to know about. I can't afford one like this, but they're really amazing watches. Here are some more. He has really a relatively limited set of wristwatch styles. And I say that with almost an irony because he does so much bespoke somebody says, I want this watch, and he'll do it for them. So it's really almost unlimited, but there are some general styles. And beside the Diginitas Pure, there's also one called the Digites Power Reserve. The only difference that I could tell was that up at 12 o'clock, above the 12 o'clock on the dial, there's a little power reserve indicator. Now, there's one that's called the Bexei Vox Venom Grand Sonnerie. It's a grand and petite sonnerie. Amazing kind of choices that are made in terms of the watches that he decides to make. Now, the one that is one of the most amazing is that I'm not a big tourbillon fan. I can tell you that right now. But this tourbillon, this triple axis tourbillon that he put together, is really amazing. It has jewel bearings and a wind-up indicator, hour, minute, second retrograde indication on the thing. It's just a gorgeous watch. And the movement, you can see on the lower right over there, is, that's something that's not off the shelf, so to speak. Anyway, this is a short introduction to a really interesting watchmaker. Sometimes, for whatever reason, you're poking around looking at watches. Something like this comes up at a good deal. Be worth getting. Anyway, opportunity to subscribe if you like. And until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch AHCI, the art and science of watch collection.